Okay, so part two, after we have gotten down the sounds for each of these letters and taken a look here, obviously, at the pronunciation guide, we want to look at this little worksheet here. So there are 10 sentences in Spanish. Most of the sounds here are going to be similar to the ones that we have in English, but we have a couple, and so we want to be able to take a look at our pronunciation guide to help us with those that maybe are a little off. So I'm going to go through with you for the first few, and then what you'll do is you'll fill in all of these. You do not need to turn in this paper. What you'll do instead is you'll go to the discussion board. You'll record yourself reading all of these phrases using what we put down in the blank as a helpful guide for you to make sure we do it well. So I'm going to do the first three with you so we can kind of get how we're doing it. So we have this first word, como. So we come here and we say, oh, this is going to be a K. Okay. We know this because it's a CO. Now that's something that we're going to practice going forward, but that one I will just give to you. So it's going to be a K, and we know it's an O. The M is always the same. When we come back, the M is very similar to the M in English, and so that'll just be como. And we look is, what about the T? So we come here, we go to the T. The T is just a T sound, so that's easy. Then we look at the E. The E is like A, almost like the letter A in English, but not quite. So como te. Now here's where we added in that other thing, right? So when it's a double L, it's like a Y sound. Okay, so we're going to add in the Y, and that's going to be Y. The A, remember, is A. The M is going to be the same, right? So it's ya. Then we come back to the A, right? We can see what we already did. And the S is going to be the same. So just as a helpful guide, when we write this out, we can say, ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay. With all of these phrases, it doesn't really matter whether we know what the phrase means. Our practice today is just so you can see that you can see words that you don't know and be able to pronounce them. So let's look at the second one. We already know this phrase, right? But we can do it the same. We already have como, so we can say como. We know E, right? Or we can take a look back at our pronunciation guide, and we can say e. The S and the T are going to be similar to English, so those don't really change. So it's e. We know A, or we can go ahead and take a look back at the pronunciation guide. And then we know the S, again, is going to be pretty much the same. And so we get como estás. Okay. Now one more, and then I'll have you do the rest using that pronunciation guide. And then you will go to the discussion board link on It's Learning and record these for yourself. If you have trouble with that, I posted a video kind of explaining how we do that. Now here we have one more, so we know the M is the same. And here's one of the mistakes that we see a lot. Again, thinking back to that TED Talk where he talked about how, when you're thinking in English and you're learning another language, we tend to use our English brains and pronounce it like that. A lot of times we'd see this me llamo. But we know, looking at our pronunciation guide, that when we see an E, it's going to be e. So instead of me, it is me. Almost like you're not impressed by something, right? Me. So me, again, we know that the double L is a Y sound. And so that's going to be a Y sound. The A, right, going back, is A. Ya. The M is the same, and one of the cool things about O is pretty much the same, right? It's like, oh. Me llamo, and then Frank, right? That's an English name. Okay, so that will get you started And so go ahead and fill out the rest of these. Again, you won't turn this one in. Okay, you are just going to use this as your helpful guide to make the pronunciation more manageable for you.